letting people know, like now I can explain decisions I made with a clear head. You know what I'm saying? Like back then, I really didn't know shit. I was just trying shit out, so I shouldn't have been so vocal about it.
Iman Shumpert has to make a one-time 7-figure payment to Teyana. What? That's crazy. What is that about, roundabout? What do you think?
$1 million or more.
This would be like my healing chapter. I was worried about that. A lot of wounds are being closed.
Stop scrolling, because what just happened inside that courtroom between Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert is nothing short of unbelievable. $10 million. That was the number that froze the entire room. Fans, reporters, even the judge sat still for a moment, as if the air had been sucked out of the building. And when Teyana stood up and walked out of that courtroom, her lawyers behind her, shoulders square and steady, not once looking back, the entire atmosphere shifted. It felt like the final scene of a movie, one where the heroine finally walks away from the storm she survived for far too long. But it was Iman's reaction that left the room stunned. His shaking hands, the shock on his face, the way he broke down in front of everyone. That was the moment people whispered about in the hallways long after the court adjourned. Nobody expected things to go this far. Nobody thought this divorce would become this emotional, this revealing, or this financially devastating. But the truth is, none of this happened suddenly. This wasn't a quick decision. It was years of frustration, sacrifice, pain, and financial imbalance bubbling to the surface until it finally exploded. To understand how the courtroom reached that intense moment, you have to go back and understand what their marriage looked like behind the cameras. Away from the red carpets, away from Instagram highlights, away from the curated perfection the world believed in. The real story didn't live in the photo shoots or the cute family videos. It lived between the arguments, the quiet resentments, the late-night disagreements, and the financial pressure that slowly crept in and reshaped everything. There was a time when Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert looked unstoppable. They were the couple everyone rooted for, the creative powerhouse and the athlete with undeniable charisma. She was the music, the art, the fashion, the vision. He was the energy, the confidence, the protector. Together, they had a chemistry that felt unbreakable. But what people didn't see was how much Teyana carried, how much she worked, how much she sacrificed, not just emotionally but financially, physically, creatively. She wasn't just a singer. She was filming, recording, directing, choreographing, and being a full-time mother. She was the engine that kept the household running. And when she later spoke about feeling unappreciated, she didn't just mean emotionally. She meant financially, practically, realistically. Because while Iman had strong moments in his NBA career, his income wasn't consistent. There were contract gaps, trades, injuries, pauses, and uncertainty. Whenever life threw them a curveball, it was Teyana stepping up quietly, without applause, without announcing it to the world. Inside the courtroom, all of this finally surfaced. Spectators said they had never seen so many documents in one celebrity divorce hearing. Folders labeled everything from marital assets to support contributions were stacked high on Teyana's legal team's table. When her lawyers opened them, it felt like peeling back the layers of a story the public only thought it understood. Iman walked in nervous. Anyone could see that. He rubbed his hands together, looked at the floor, whispered constantly to his lawyer. Every time money came up, he shifted in his seat. Every time Teyana's lawyers read off another financial contribution she made, he blinked hard, as if he knew this day was coming but still wasn't ready to face it. And then there was Teyana. Calm, composed, expression unreadable. Not cold, not angry, just done. Completely finished. People who saw her said she sat there the way someone sits after fighting a long battle alone, and finally reaching the exit. She barely moved, barely reacted. It was as if she had already made peace with the outcome before stepping into the building. Then came the moment when everything shifted. Teyana's lawyer stood up and began explaining how their finances actually worked over the years. Not in a dramatic, emotional, or accusatory tone, just plain facts. Numbers, dates, receipts, payments she covered during seasons when his income slowed, household expenses she carried, investments she funded to keep their future stable, times she paid bills alone, quietly, without throwing it in his face. Time she worked through exhaustion because someone had to hold the family together. People said the judge looked genuinely surprised. Not because Iman was irresponsible, but because Teyana had carried far more of the weight than anyone realized. And when the documents comparing her financial contributions to his were presented, the courtroom grew tense and silent, the kind of silence that makes your chest tighten. Iman's shoulders stiffened. His hands locked together so tightly they turned pale. When the judge asked whether he wanted to respond, he didn't look up at first. He just breathed slowly, like he was trying to stop himself from falling apart. And then the judge delivered the ruling. Based on the evidence presented, the court rules that Ms. Teyana Taylor is entitled to a financial settlement in the amount of $10 million. $10 million. The number echoed. Even people outside the room said they heard the gasp ripple through the space. Iman's head snapped up. His eyes widened. His mouth moved like he tried to speak, but nothing came out at first. Then, barely audible, he whispered, 10? His voice cracked. And when the full weight of the ruling hit him, everything broke. At first, he buried his face in his hands. Then his shoulders began to shake. His lawyer leaned in, trying to calm him, whispering something to help him breathe. But nothing seemed to reach him. The man who once stood tall on NBA courts now looked shattered. Teyana never turned her head. Not even once. She stared straight ahead, focused on the judge, as if looking back would pull her into a place she'd already left behind. Observers said it didn't feel cold. It felt like acceptance. The acceptance that comes when someone has tried everything to save something that was already falling apart. But the financial ruling wasn't the only heavy moment. Things became even more emotional when custody came into the discussion. When the judge asked about childcare responsibilities, Iman finally spoke. His voice cracked as he said he loved his children more than anything, that he needed them, that he wasn't perfect, but he was trying. According to insiders, he wiped his face, cleared his throat, and whispered, "Please don't take them from me." Even the lawyers paused. Teyana didn't argue. She didn't attack him. She didn't accuse him of anything. She simply explained that she wanted stability for the kids, routine, structure, emotional safety. She made it clear she wasn't trying to take them away from their father, but wanted to protect their peace. The judge nodded, taking in her explanation, and emphasized that the children's best interests would be the priority above money, pride, or public perception. When the hearing ended, the room erupted into movement. Reporters jumped up, lawyers grabbed their documents, and whispers spread like wildfire. Teyana stood first. Calm, graceful. She collected her things, adjusted her blazer, and walked out without looking at Iman. Her legal team followed closely behind. Outside, cameras flashed instantly. Teyana, how do you feel about the ruling? Did you expect 10 million? Do you think it was fair? She said nothing. No smile, no anger, just quiet resolve. She stepped into the black SUV waiting for her, and drove off like someone finally closing a painful chapter. Inside the courtroom, Iman remained seated. His lawyer tried to help him stand, tried to talk him through breathing, but he was frozen. His life had just shifted in ways he wasn't prepared for, financially, emotionally, and as a father. The internet reacted immediately. Some said Teyana deserved every penny. Some said she carried the marriage. Some said Iman fumbled a woman who supported him endlessly. Others defended him, saying divorce courts often hit men harder, saying no one wins when a family breaks, saying we don't know everything that happened behind closed doors. And the truth? They're right. We don't. We only know what the court revealed. Insiders now say Iman is considering appealing the ruling. He believes the settlement is too high. He's overwhelmed. Friends claim he hasn't been sleeping, that he feels like he lost everything at once. Not just money, but stability, identity, and the life he thought he'd hold on to. Meanwhile, Teyana isn't celebrating. She isn't posting. She isn't doing interviews. Those close to her say she's focused on healing, creating peace for her children, and rebuilding the emotional foundation she lacked for years. But there's more. Sources say additional sealed documents exist. Documents not discussed in court. Documents that may reveal even deeper layers of the story. And while those files remain locked away from the public, one thing is clear. This wasn't the breakup the world thought it was. This was the end of a long, quiet battle. One fought behind the scenes by a woman who finally decided to stop carrying everything alone, and a man who wasn't ready for the truth to cost him this much. And whether the world agrees with the ruling or not, this divorce has become one of the most emotional, complicated, and shocking celebrity separations in recent years.